Hello. Okay, so a little bit late, but I decided because I was wrong about some weapons the last time I did one of these, so I decided to wait, do it after I've seen most of the weapons, used them, just because it's easier to get thoughts that way. And also, instead of just kind of doing them in a random order, I'm going to do them kind of in sections. So I'm going to do like world drops first, and then rifles weapons, so on and so forth. So we'll start with the world drop weapons. There's like four or five of these. I think that is it. Yes. Okay. So first up, we've got the Lunulata 4D kinetic stasis bow. So it does have headstone, pretty good. But it doesn't have a whole lot else going for it. Just kind of annoying. It's actually got three really good perks on this. So you got AJ, you got successful warm up, and you got headstone. This first column just doesn't have a whole lot going for it. Steady hands is good. Um, well rounded is a good perk, but it's kind of useless here. No distractions is not bad, especially since the lightweight and flinches like crazy. Rangefinder is useless. I don't know why this is so high. I guess just because it does give some aim assist, but I don't know. It's yeah. But I mean, overall, if you get like a headstone roll, it's going to be good for a headstone build. But it's not something I would be like super concerned about getting. Especially since right now we don't really have any bow mods in the artifacts, so it's just kind of I don't remember. But yeah, so go. It's like natural string. You need accuracy on these things, not draw time. This is kind of what I would be looking for. And then mod is obviously whatever. Like that. You want a lot of accuracy. This is probably what I would look for. Natural string, straight fletching, no distractions, headstone, by stinger, accuracy, masterwork. Uh, if I get something like that, I'll keep it. If not, I get sharp. And that's just kind of the end of the story for that one. Enyo-Deez. This is um, a really, really good gun. It's basically entropy. It doesn't have true kill clip, which is kind of an issue, but it's not really the end of the world because the whole point with this was just to you just outrange everything, and this still does that. You will still outrange almost everything. And it's got like if you want a PvP role, you can go tunnel vision multi kill clip. You could get something like Rampage. You could even go like well-rounded Wellspring, which has some synergy, and then just worry about max range. Encore, very, very good perk, and I think people kind of sleep on it. Um, I have does it show? It does. So I have, I think this one here is my favorite. This is one I use in PvE quite a bit. It's a Feeding Frenzy Rampage, Tac Mag, Reload Masterwork. Very solid. I have this one. I haven't tested it yet. I have this Encore Vorpal roll with max range. I haven't really tested yet. Um, and then this surrounded roll actually feels pretty good. But again, Rampage, and then you can. I don't like the thing with surrounded. In my opinion, is that now that we have primaries that can roll it, like enhanced surrounded, so you can craft it. Normal surrounded, it's just kind of like enemy. Um, but I think this is probably my favorite role so far. So like if you're a PvE player, you want Feeding Frenzy, and then you want Rampage or Multi Kill Clip. If you're a PvP player, you're probably looking at more well-rounded Encore Tunnel Vision with Multi Kill Clip, maybe Wellspring. or Vorpal. If you're a Vorpal enjoyer, then Vorpal's very good. Staccato 46. I think this gun, this is one of those guns that's like, I think super duper good. It's just getting it is kind of a pain in the butt because it's a world drop. It's a precision frame, so that sucks, but you put up with it for this gun. And here's why. It rolled incandescent. It's a world drop, so you can't get the enhanced version, which does suck, but I mean, explosive payload, you know, it's like a 15% bonus damage in PvE at all times for doing absolutely nothing. That's why it's so good. Incandescent applies scorched enemies. It's like Dragonfly, but better. It actually does have Dragonfly, if that's more your thing. I would still stick with Incandescent if the two. And then you've got Rampage, if you like Rampage. Then you've got Outlaw, Triple Tap, Shoot to Loot, Well-Rounded, Under Pressure. Like, all of these, except Compulsive Reloader, are really good. And even Compulsive Reloader, if you were going for more of a PvP role, you could bring Compulsive Reloader and Explosive Payload into PvP, and you could proc Suros synergy with Compulsive Reloader, and you'd be almost impossible to duel. Even with 180s having a terrible time to kill, you would barely take any flinch, and they would be flinched like crazy. And then obviously you'd want like max range. So I mean that's something to keep in mind if you don't want this for PvE, which is entirely fair because it is a 180. It feels pretty bad in PvE, but it's solid in PvP. So the Galu RR3. This is so there's that Nightfall sniper, Uzumaki. This is basically that, but art. Obviously, there's no adept version either, but you get the idea. This perk pool is honestly not the best. It is also not terrible. You can get, if for PvP, you can get no distraction snapshot, or steady hand snapshot. And then for PvE, you've got overflow thundersphere. So it's not bad at all. It's just not. You just don't. There aren't a lot of options. There's no real variety. Like that's just kind of it. If there are enemies nearby and you're running an arc class, so if you're like a Titan, maybe overflow Golden Tricorn instead. But I don't know. It's just a 10-second window. It's just going to be really niche. There's only going to be so many places you can put that to use. But yeah, like not a bad gun overall. It's just it's a little limited, and I think we have other like craftable snipers that are less limited. Okay, so let's look at. I guess we'll look at the playlist weapons, and then and then we'll look at like the adept weapons. I guess we'll look at here's burden and fusion, since those are technically playlist weapons. Okay, Riptide is like it drops like crazy and it's very good. This is one of the better playlist weapons this season. I think it's the best, honestly. If you can get like auto loading chill clip, very good. Chill clip is very strong. For PvP, perpetual motion successful warm up is very good. Under pressure, 4 plus bad. Cornered even. Like, there's just a lot going for it. You just have to get it. Obviously, I don't think I have a good one of these. For now, I have a good PvP roll here. Will I use this in PvE ever? No, because I have a double enhanced demo kill clip raid fusion. But auto link chill clip, very good. And obviously, you can just kind of go for max charge time if you get that, because the whole idea of it is just to freeze enemies. So it doesn't actually matter how much damage you're doing. This is also a really good playlist weapon. I don't know if I'd say it's better than Riptide, but it does have a lot of stuff going for it. I don't know why this is the perk that's being recommended, but I think that's a light.gg thing. People keep some weird stuff. Not that this is bad, obviously, but in a perk pool that includes Adrenaline Junkie, Incandescent, and Rampage, I don't know why this is at the top. I mean, yes, 15% damage at all times. Yeah, I mean, it's good. But Incandescent, Adrenaline Junkie, Rampage all are also really good. So I think that's a little questionable. Um, that's what I would look for is Archer's Tempo, and then one of these three perks, AJ, Incan, Rampage. But Explosive Head is not going to be bad. Vorpal's obviously very good. Dragonfly's okay. Archer's Tempo, Successful War Mode is very fun, but you can already craft that on that bow from last season that I actually need to work on. I forgot that bow existed. And I have golf balls I need to get rid of. I'm gonna have to move that to my more slowly. Uh, Dead Weight is a rapid fire shotgun, so you already know that it's probably worthless. But it does have some fun rolls. Grave Robber Swash, Grave Robber 1-2 Punch. Both very cool. You can get auto loading on it. 1-2 Punch. Good for PvE. If you're looking for a PvP roll, you can get something like Perpetual Motion with Vorpal. Perpetual Motion Swash, Subsistence also is not a bad perk. With really just any damage perk. The thing with Subsistence is, I think, on this gun, it's kind of, I wouldn't say wasted, but it's a rapid fire, so its damage is not always super great and consistent. In PvE, it should be less of an issue, but if you don't get the one shot, you're gonna burn through a lot of ammo trying to play with Subsistence without actually, like, getting kills sometimes. Just because you have to use so much more ammo to kill enemies in PvE than you do with every other shotgun frame. Lightweights don't have great damage either, but they usually have a good pellet spread. Rapid fires don't really have that either. The pellet spread's kind of meh, and their damage is not very high. And it's an absolutely wasted origin trait because you're a shotgun, you have no range, you're not going to damage the invader. But I mean, yeah, like it's got some fun rolls. It's just not anything groundbreaking. Okay, so Iron Banner weapons. Hero's Burden, very, very good. I love this gun. It's an adaptive frame. You can get well-rounded or Feeding Frenzy. Kill Clip, really, really good on it. Iron Reach, if you want to go for like really high range. I don't like the cost, the stability cost, but you do you. Vorpal, I have a Storm, both very good in PvP. Repulsive Race, I think, is super slept on, and we'll kind of get to a gun where it's better on later when we go over the dungeon. But well-rounded with Repulsive Race is also a fun combo because it synergizes. Tunnel Vision Kill Clip is another good combo. I'm surprised Tunnel Vision Kill Clip is higher, honestly, but it is what it is. My role that I have is kind of what I wanted, which is Small Bore, Armor Piercing, Feeding Frenzy, Kill Clip. Master didn't really matter, but I did get stability, which is fine. slapped a backup mag on it because it's an SMG and they have no mag size. I also got a well-rounded kill clip roll with stability masterwork as well. I didn't really get the mag I wanted, but it's not terrible. This would have been a better PvP roll in my opinion if I'd gotten ranged. Instead, I have a pendant mag, so it's kind of meh. I still will test this at some point, but this is kind of the quote unquote daily driver. Like if I need an SMG for bounties, this is usually what I get. Um, and I mean, I like this gun the first time it was around in D2 and like Black Armor. Like it just feels really really good to use. Wise and Rebuke is a high impact frame fusion and therefore not worth your time because they decided that they need to be bad. That said, if you did want one, this roll that's listed here is probably as good as it's going to get. I wouldn't use accelerated coils. I would get particle repeater. But yeah, that's kind of just it. Any of these three, well-rounded, moving target under pressure, good. If you wanted to like have some fun, I guess, in PvE, subsistence successful warm-up wouldn't be bad. If you're using a high impact in PvE instead of like literally anything else, that's on you, and you're probably having fun regardless of what role. But yeah, like this is just not, it's not good at all. I guess let's look at the adept weapons then. So we'll look at the 2 trials weapons, and then the 2 nightfall weapons. Obviously, there are normal versions of these. I'm just looking at the adept because the perk pool doesn't change. So this is another kinetic stasis fusion rifle that also rolls chill clip, which is whatever, honestly. It's an adaptive frame, which is not my favorite, but it is. I like it more than rapid fires, and it has a really good perk pool. You've got perpetual motion, well-rounded, and elemental capacitor in the first column. Elemental capacitor is usually in the second, so that means you can get elemental capacitor and then something like high impact reserves, which is honestly pretty insane for PvP because you're gonna get just bonus upfront damage, and if you're on like void or stasis, you're gonna get a lot of stability or what is it with stasis? I think it's like targeting or something, aim assist, something like that. So it's really really good. It's the only issue is it's an adaptive frame, and I don't remember the kill value on these is a little janky. I think it's like one of those where you have to hit every bolt and you have to be within a certain range. So you do need to keep that in mind, but I mean, it's got a perk pool to die for. I think like this is absolutely worth playing trials for. Get Arrowhead, get like particle repeater, projection fuse, and maybe even liquid coils if you need a little extra damage. One of these 3 perks, I would look for capacitor because this is more of a PvP thing. If you're looking for like PvE, then perpetual motion or stats for all chill clip will be really good. But for PvP, yeah, capacitor high impact reserves all day. And again, it's adept, so if you get an adept version, you can slap, range or stability on it. And it'll just be really, really good. This is one of the best, if not the best, PvE sidearm in the game. And I say one of because you can craft Drang, and I think that's better, but that's also personal preference. Because this is an aggressive frame, and I prefer adaptives for the most part. But this is an aggressive frame that can roll demolitions to adrenaline. If you want better input on this gun for PvP, you can go watch True Vanguard's video where he talks about it. But I think he said that Adrenaline Junkie with 1 stack will 2-tap if you hit all crits on like 5 resilience or less, which is actually just insane. Like this thing has a lot of really good kill chaining perks. You've got like Killing Wind, you've got AJ, you've got Killing Wind, multi-kill clip. Moving target is actually pretty good up front. Same with rapid hit. Um, Something like moving target harmony would be really good in conjunction with a primary you get more kills with. Um, but like overall for PVE, I think this is just a better PVE gun. Demo AJ, subsistence AJ, demo multi kill clip even. If you're using like some kind of swap combo, maybe with like Wither Ward or a bait and switch gun, then obviously like harmony is just gonna be good. And obviously the depth, so you can slap stats on it to compensate for whatever stats you're missing out on. But I mean, it's a high impact frame, and it's got the best stats in class out of all high impact, or not high impact. It's an aggressive frame, excuse me. But it's got the best stats in that class. So, I mean, you're just kind of tacking on already good stats. But yeah, so like this is what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for demo AJ. I'm hoping they didn't say anything about what the double rep was this week, so it might be trials. If it is, I'm gonna go grind these out until I get demo AJ. But yeah, like it's not bad by any means, and it'll be handy to have when after Arc 3.0, I would assume, especially demo AJ. Assuming that's kind of what you're playing around with 3.0. So DFA, this is an interesting one because it's outclassed by the craftable Austringer in just about everywhere. Like it really is. There's not much you can do on here, and I've tried. There's not a whole lot you can do with this that won't be outclassed by so like this is like I think as good as you can get with a mix of stability and range, and you're still just getting blasted by Austringer. Like Austringer is gonna have that much range and also have like 20 more stability. It's absolutely insane. But this does have timed payload, which I think is like a top tier perk. I mean, PvE, PvP is just really strong. It's this first column that's honestly more of the issue because there isn't a whole lot going for it. Obviously, there's fragile focus, which I guess is okay, but I mean, you've got time payload, so you already have very little range drop off. Outlaw is okay, but again, it doesn't pair quite as well with time payloads. I'm going to take perpetual motion for the extra stability. But yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about it. It's a very good gun, and I like how it looks and sounds. So like, I will be chasing a really good adept roll. But again, you'll be outclassed by Australia, and that's just I think you just kind of have to accept that. What doesn't get outclassed is Horse Least Adept, because they brought it back with Kill Clip. This was the only rapid fire pulse rifle now with Kill Clip, and it's just insane. Every time I see someone pop off with this, I'm like, yes. That's why I was hoping Kill Clip would stay away from this particular archetype of pulse rifle. It doesn't have the best first column. I think Under Pressure is good, but it doesn't synergize with Kill Clip all that well. Special Motion is not bad. Steady Hands and Heating Up are both good, but I don't know. I don't think they work quite as well with Kill Clip. So I would look for Perpetual Motion, Kill Clip. I think even in PvE, you're looking. I mean, you might take Frenzy, but I'd still look for Kill Clip. I will probably look for Perpetual Motion, Kill Clip, but I think I'd be okay with Steady Hands, Kill Clip as well. I just really like this perk. And these things have really crap base handling, so. So this is a 55 recoil direction. So you want Arrowhead, you want Accurized, you want. We'll just see what Steady Hands does. Kill Clip, Vindication. I think for your masterwork, ooh, that looks really cool. I've never the adept shader on this actually looks really nice. For your masterwork, you probably want stability. You could get something else, I guess, but like range. But these things kind of kick all over the place. And then, probably like you could put Adept Icarus grip on if you needed it, because that would give you +5 handling. Or you could go Adept range or Adept stability. If you masterwork it and you get all these perks, you get 69 stability. So clearly, this is what you want to go with. But yeah, so that's kind of what I will be looking for. And again, like it looks cool. It feels good to shoot. And I think outside of the Splicer rapid fire pulse, this is probably the best feeling rapid fire pulse there is. I don't, well, but again, that's kind of personal opinion because I do not like the one from Prophecy all that much, the old Trials. Like it's okay, but it's not my favorite. Okay. Let's look at the haunted weapons. The haunted weapons are all very solid. So I think this is the one I finally was able to craft, because this game exclusively gives me Red Border Beloveds and Glaives. So I only was just able to craft this. I'm still 2 out of 5 on crafting the Drang, so I want to die. But this gun, it is a 450. It is a precision frame auto rifle, so it's a 450 RPM. That sucks because that particular archetype just isn't good. But you can craft enhanced surrounded. And you may be thinking to yourself, now, why would you craft enhanced surrounded? Because if you combine it with surrounded spec, it is a 47% damage buff when you're near 3 or more enemies, which is completely insane. So yeah, that is what I will be crafting. That it's like it is a 450, yes, but 47% damage in PvE it doesn't even matter at that point. Like that's just nothing else comes close. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be going for. I haven't decided on the barrel yet if I want to go like small bore instead of polygonal rifling. Yeah, this is probably what I'll be going for. It's a precision frame. It feels pretty good at base, so I'm not too concerned about the recoil direction. If you don't like enhanced surrounded, it does have adagio, which is good. And I'm debating using that instead, but I'm not sure yet. Because the thing with that is that it doesn't really decrease the time to kill at all. It's like 2 extra heads. Like it turns into a 360 with 2 more headshot damage, and that just doesn't do a whole lot. But again, no one's been using this weapon, so there isn't a whole lot of data. So if I wanted to like test it, I'd have to do it myself, and I'm just kind of lazy. But it could be good. Focus Fury, again, it's a precision frame, so it's pretty easy to hit headshots with. But again, I'm lazy, so enhanced surrounded will just be the easiest for me because it requires the least amount of thinking. Tears of Contrition. This is another good gun. You can get the funny triple tap 4 times the charm combo, and you can craft that if you want. But it also has explosive payloads, so I would look for well-rounded explosive payload. The problem with this gun is it is a precision frame, and unlike Staccato, it doesn't really do anything special outside of having explosive payload and the funny triple tap 4 times combo. So if you get a good one to drop with perpetual motion explosive or triple tap 4 times, keep it. Otherwise, Shard it. I wouldn't even really worry about crafting it. You can if you really like it. If you're a nameless midnight enthusiast, then yeah, you'll probably like it. Uh, it and I don't know. It's just eh. It doesn't do anything that hung jury couldn't. And I already have one of those. So I guess if you don't have a good hung jury, then you can craft a pretty decent version of this that will at least be competitive. Um, it's a lightweight shotgun, so you already know I like it. It's called Without Remorse. Really good perk. I mean, just really, really good. Um, Steady hands, threat detector, hip fire in this first column. Second column is capacitor for PvP, 1-2 punch and incandescent for PvE. Vorpal for both, even honestly. Like it's just there's a lot going for it, and it's craftable. For PvP, I would absolutely just go um, probably corkscrew or small bore, accurized thread detector, elemental capacitor. Just get a bunch of range. They nerf full choke, but you could go with that as well. For PvE, I would go corkscrew again, assault mag. Probably well-rounded or thread detector with 1-2 punch or incandescent. It just kind of depends on what you're using it for. 1-2 punch will be better for just kind of loss of major damage. Incandescent will be better for blowing up ads, especially if you're using a solar build. This is an interesting gun. It's another legendary trace rifle. It is void. And it's got an interesting perk pool. Killing Tally is back. The problem with them bringing Killing Tally back in the way that they have is that it kind of sucks. Because the two guns it rolls on right now don't have overflow. So you don't, by the time you get to 3 stacks, you don't actually have a whole lot to work with. So honestly, I would just skip it on this. For PvE, I would go adaptive munitions, obviously, just really good. And then, so you could just go enhanced swashbuckler. You'll get more damage, and it like lasts like 6 seconds. So you can't keep that refreshed within that 6-second window. I don't know what you're doing. For PvP, you could go rangefinder swash. There is an argument to be made for in PvE using like something like well-rounded or adaptive with repulsor brace if you really, really like void. Repulsor brace is very, very good. That's just it's not a damage perk, obviously. So I think Swashbuckler is definitely the way to go. But you do have some other options here too. Heating up Unrelenting. I mean, there's a reason this is one of the popular PvP combos. It's just I don't know. I don't really like using trace rifles in PvP all that much. So to me, anyway, that just seems a little. Just seems meh. I think tactical battery is just kind of the go-to best battery on these. But you can kind of use whatever you like. So Bump in the Night. It's a stasis rocket launcher that can roll chill clip with auto-loading or field prep. So if you don't have a Palmyra B, I think this is what you want to try and get. It's also craftable, so you can enhance auto-loading holster like Palmyra. It does have Vorpal, which I don't think Palmyra does. So it's got a very strong perk. You could also go for a max higher reload roll, or something with more reserves, so like you can craft enhanced field prep with chill clip. And it'll be really good. Obviously, it's an aggressive frame, so it doesn't have intrinsic tracking, but it will just have more damage. So if you're looking for like a total high DPS galley combo roll, you want this with chill clip, probably enhanced field prep chill clip. If you want just like a generic roll, then I think Vorpal will be a better bet. But the galley combo with chill clip is insane. And again, it's craftable. So that's you can just get what you want on it. All right, let's look at the reissued opulent weapons because I think they are all pretty cracked. This is technically in the dungeon, but it's an opulent weapon. So I forgot the glaive. Okay, we'll look at the glaive in here too. It doesn't. There really isn't a whole lot to look at with it. So, oh. All right, Ostringer. This gun is single-handedly made DFA useless. You just get a ton of stability. You get rangefinder. I think if you go range master, yeah, then you're getting just a ton of stability with very similar range. You're still getting rangefinder, Eye of the Storm. It's just insane. Not quite as much more range and stability than I thought. I'll have to. Maybe I'm misremembering the role Fallout posted. But it was something like this, and I mean, it just blew DFA out of the water. But again, it's Ostringer. Outlaw Rampage, Outlaw Frenzy for PvE. Eye of the Storm Rangefinder, Eye of the Storm Opening Shot for PvP. You've got all your good. You've got High Cal, you got Ricochet, you've got Armor Piercing, whatever you want to use. Good barrels, small bore, fluted, hammer forge, whatever you want. I mean, it's Ostringer. It's back. It's the classic. I think Islin actually still does have better base stats, but I mean, you can't craft it, so that is something to keep in mind. Epicurean, this is a precision frame. It is void. It doesn't really do anything special. I think this is pretty cool. So you get like well-rounded rangefinder or surplus rangefinder, and then just map people with it. But it doesn't have anything else super duper interesting in my opinion. Moving target maybe, but I'd rather if it was like moving target rangefinder, I'd say yes, go chase this. But if you get a good one, then keep it. But like you can craft this, but it rolls from the dungeon, and I have yet to see a single. I haven't even gotten these yet, and I have yet to see a red border. So just keep that in mind. That I mean, if you get a good one, then keep it, but I wouldn't worry about it. The Snorri is a precision frame that also I think just has better rolls. So you're mostly just doing this because you like how it looks. The same will be said about the LMG when we get to it. So this is the glaive. I've already crafted this and then vaulted it. This does nothing special. You can get Unstoppable Force and Impulse Amplifier, but you could do that on the Enigma before. So this is just Arc. This doesn't do anything interesting. Demo AJ's cool, but I mean, it's just objectively worse than this, and this is a combo that's already available. So I guess if you want an Arc copy of your Enigma, you can craft this. And you'll be ready for Arc 3.0. But otherwise, it's kind of just a waste of resources. This is the gun I've been chasing. This gun, I just love how it feels. You can get, if you craft it, you can enhance Wellspring, enhance Incandescent, which is really huge. Like, this is just a really, really strong perk. It applies more Scorch Attacks, bigger area. It's a huge buff for PvE and PvP. Yeah, that's what I'm going to craft eventually, one day. But if you want just a combo weapon for Sturm, that you can get Disruption Break or Quick Draw, Eye of the Storm, Moving Target. I mean, just this whole perk pool is just really good. And combined with like Rampage, Swashbuckler, Vorpal, even if you need to take out supers. I think just the best raw PvE roll is going to be Wellspring and a damage perk, but probably Incandescent overall. It's just very strong. Um, so like I highly recommend if you once you're able to craft this, craft one of these. Like I don't know if you're a PvP player, PvE player, doesn't matter. It's just a strong gun. Adaptive frames in general just feel really good to use. This is the bane of my existence, and naturally the second gun I was able to craft, which means I crafted and also threw it in my vault. I got really tired of dying to these in PvP and was really glad when I got vaulted. Then they brought back a ritual weapon that looked and sounded exactly the same, and now they've brought the actual gun itself back. Um, Luckily, haven't seen a ton of people using it, but I haven't played a lot of PvP. It has all the good rolls that you remember. Snapshot, moving target, no distractions, quick draw, firmly planted, all that wonderful stuff. And as an added bonus, it's got Incandescent. I think Incandescent is really good on this. I agree with Cool Guy. It's very similar to putting Headstone on a kinetic sniper in PvP. In anywhere where people group up, which I mean that can be 3s or 6s. If you get an initial kill with Headstone, you make it hard for them to get a res, and it's just area denial. And if you use Incandescent, you force everyone to back up because they're taking damage over time. They can't fight you. You know where they are. You stop healing. It's just very strong. So I think I'm gonna craft Snapshot Incandescent on this. Maybe no distractions Incandescent instead, just because I'm more of a campy player. I don't need Snapshot. Ricochet rounds, free barrel, obviously. Very strong gun, obviously. I mean, it was always strong, now it's just more strong because you can craft it with enhanced perks. So that's something to keep in mind. If you like sniping, this is the gun for you. Alice Mini Tool is back, and guess what? It is a primary with enhanced surrounding. And unlike the auto rifle, 900 RPM SMGs are actually really good. So I think enhanced threat detector, enhanced surrounded, or enhanced unrelenting, enhanced surrounded, probably the way to go in PvE. But a new challenger approaches. It also has enhanced incandescent. So whichever one you want to go, you can go. I think enhanced incandescent, enhanced unrelenting is the way to go. But again, if you don't use solar a whole lot or you don't like the solar rework, then enhanced surrounded is not going to let you down either. And also, it'll be a lot easier to craft because it's much earlier in the tree. I mean, this is like you can craft this with a good roll at level 8. So you can like fluted, accurized, double enhance at level 8 if you want to go enhanced unrelenting, enhanced surrounded. If you want enhanced star detector, enhanced surrounded, I mean you have to wait until level 9, like whatever. If you want enhanced incandescent, it's level 16, so it's going to be a while. But still, really, really good gun. With some really good perk options. Fixed odds. So again, this can be crafted. I don't know why you would. Because it doesn't do anything for you. You want to get field prep, you want to get firing line, because it's kind of your only option. Feeding Frenzy Incandescent would be fun too for like ad clear, but it's an LMG. It already clears that well. It has killing tally, but it's a high impact frame, so you don't really have any room in the mag, so you don't get any use out of it. It's just kind of a waste overall, I think. It's not bad if you get a good roll, keep it, but I wouldn't stress yourself out about it. It's not that good. And then finally, we'll look at the dungeon weapons and the exotics. We'll look at the exotics last. I'm just opening them so I don't forget. The dungeon weapons proper. So the Epicurean and fixed odds both roll. They both drop from the last chest of the new dungeon. So keep that in mind. If you don't see them, it's because they may as well not exist, and I think they're kind of a waste. And look at the original weapons. First, okay, so Lingering Dread. It's a kinetic stasis nade launcher that can roll auto-loading chill clip. And then you can also get Blinding Spike. So, I mean, the CC on this is actually insane if you get this combo. Proximity nades does not work with chill clips, so keep that in mind. If you're looking for a chill clip roll, you want Blinding or Spike. If you want like a more of like a PvP roll, I guess, then you can go with whatever you want in proxy. But I would definitely look for more of a PvE roll. I don't think this does a whole lot for you in PvP. But yeah, quick launch, smart, like just kind of whatever you want in this column. It doesn't really matter, honestly. It's mostly these 3 perks that matter. So something to keep in mind. Another good combo, obviously, and that's why Demo's up here at the top, is blinding auto-loading Demo, because then you can fire off two blinding nades in quick succession with your grenade by throwing a grenade to reload. New purpose. This is a high-impact frame pulse rifle. It looks sick. This is kind of your... Since Messenger, the Messenger Trials of Osiris has been, I don't know, like vaulted, I guess. This is your new kinetic high impact. So if you want a high impact pulse rifle in the kinetic slot, this is the only way you can get one. It doesn't do anything special, in my opinion. It doesn't have Outlaw or Rapid Hit. So the reload is going to feel pretty meh. Feeding Frenzy is not a bad perk, per se. And I mean, Desperado and Headstone are both good for quick multi-kills. It's not as crispy as Outlaw or Rapid Hit. Perpetual Motion is not bad, but it doesn't give that much reload. So it's good for the stability and handling, but the reload not so much. Tunnel Vision, Desperado, obviously a really good combo, but again, the reload's going to be really slow. For this, I don't know. I would probably look for Arrowhead, Ricochet. For PvE anyway, it'd be Arrowhead, Ricochet, Feeding Frenzy, Desperado, or Headstone. Doesn't really matter to me. Stability, Masterwork. The intrinsic trait on these is actually really good. I don't think I talked about the intrinsic traits a whole lot. But whenever you take damage, it accelerates your next reload. And it's just taking damage. It stacks. You can be at full health. It just stays there until you reload the gun. So you actually have a reason to just wait until you get to the bottom of the mag before reloading. So it's like actually not bad, considering how poor the reload perks are on this gun. So the base reload speed on this gun is 31. So you need 4 stacks of Feeding Frenzy to max out your reload speed stat. So this absolutely helps. I don't really know the stats on it, but it is noticeably snappy at higher stats. If you're looking for just straight PvP, Tunnel Vision, or well-rounded with Desperado is going to be the way to go. But yeah, like it looks cool stat-wise. I think it's absolutely comparable to the Messenger. It's just not having Outlaw or Rapid Hit is kind of irritating for a gun that's so hard to get. I wish it was easier. Unforgiven. So this is a aggressive frame SMG. So you already know it's going to be good in PvE just from that. Because they just do more damage. The mag size sucks. So you want to put a back a mag on it. But the perk pool is absolutely fantastic. Well-rounded golden tricorn, demo tricorn, demo AJ, feeding frenzy, feeding frenzy dragonfly, feeding frenzy rampage. I have demo repulsor brace. So upon killing an enemy affected by a void debuff, you get the overshield. That includes Volta rounds. So you reload it, you throw your nade, reloads the weapon. The nade kill gives you volatile rounds. You kill enemies with the volatile rounds on them while you're shooting them with the gun. Repulsor brace proxy, you get an overshield. It's a very, very fun gun. I wish I had a slightly better roll. I wish I had Feeding Frenzy Rampage or Feeding Frenzy Frenzy. Demo AJ. But demo repulsor brace, if that's what you want to build around, is very, very good. This is the new meta defining LFR. This is the best DPS weapon in the entire game right now. And you can kind of, so it is an aggressive French 3-round burst LFR. And it is absolutely insane the amount of damage this thing can do. Insane PvE vertical. And just absolutely cracked. Auto-loading clown cartridge, rapid hit with firing line, feeding for firing line, frenzy, or vorpal. Firing line is the best if you're with allies. For solo play, vorpal or frenzy will be better. I mean, my role is like super mediocre. This right here, it's like rangefinder, vorpal, with liquid coils. So I mean, like it's decent, but it's not great. I was still as a warlock doing Master Templar in VOG last night. I was still like top 2 or 3 as a warlock with Starfire, this, and Witherhoard. I mean, it is just absolutely insane damage. So like this is worth doing that dungeon. This alone, if you can get a good roll on this, you're set for life. This thing is absolutely insane. All right, so Chain of Command is the ritual, seasonal, whatever it is, weapon. It's got demo, AJ demo, Osmosis, adapted munitions. So Osmosis demo is really cool. AJ demo is cool. Adapted munitions is probably going to be more useful in endgame content, but I don't know why you're using LMG there. So you're really only working with AJ demo and Osmosis demo. Either way, it's very fun. Especially since it has all 3 okay, origin traits. You can either get some healing, or I really like One Quiet Moment, because that just means whenever you're out of combat, you can reload it really quickly. So yeah, this is definitely worth getting. I think if you need like an LMG for any reason, this is just as good as it's going to get. The only other gun that can really compare is Corrective Measure, which also has demo AJ, and that gun is void itself, so it synergizes really well with volatile rounds. Whereas this is stasis, so if you wanted to use volatile, you need to switch to osmosis and you'd lose out on damage. So that is something to keep in mind. But I think it's very solid overall. It's a shame that it's stasis. If it was like any other, then it'd be handy, but like you're not really gonna get stasis grenade kills. It's just not possible. So that is kind of so this is the Dungeon Exotic Heart Shadow. Whenever you heavy attack, you go invis and it fires void projectiles. And then when you stay invisible, you get the weapon gets increased damage. And then while that perk is active, whenever you leave the invis and you hit the projectiles, it weakens the enemy. So it's got a really good gameplay loop. I think the catalyst is kind of meh. I think you just like move faster when you're invis. But it's not bad by any means. I don't think it's as good as Lament, but for like a dungeon where you're trying to do team play, it's not as good as Lament. But if you're solo, I think having that weaken effect is actually probably super helpful. Especially if you're running something like a solar class, so that you can like proc Radiant on yourself and weaken the other target. I think it could be really strong there. I just don't know if it's going to be better than Lament. It's not going to be better than Lament in every situation. Trespasser is the seasonal exotic. This guy, it's absolutely insane. Bungie did work some spaghetti code magic with the catalyst too, which we'll get to. So reloading after defeating a target, you get a super burst. It's just 2 bursts, so it's like an adaptive 3 burst sidearm, right? Super burst, it's like a 6 burst basically. Be the danger, it automatically reloads your weapon from reserve. So it's if you get a kill with the super burst, it's basically like Huckleberry. It just completely reloads the mag and you just get another super burst. The cool thing about it is the catalyst, which gives tunnel vision. Now, you may think to yourself, well, that's useless because you have to manually reload to proc tunnel vision. Yes. But thanks to spaghetti code magic, the automatic reload when you get a kill with the super burst, they coded it to count as a manual reload. So if tunnel vision isn't up, it refreshes it. Well, okay. If tunnel vision isn't up, it procs it. Is a better way to describe it. It does not refresh it. You cannot refresh tunnel vision. So you have to wait until it expires to get a kill if you want to just refresh it right after. Which sucks. And I wish they'd been able to code around that. Because it is a little annoying sometimes. But I mean, overall, in PvE, the uptime is insane. In PvP, obviously, it can be a little frustrating. But in PvE, anyway, like, it's not a huge deal. And it's really nice just having that handling and extra targeting just all the time. There's a reason I put like 5,000 kills on this thing in the first 2 weeks. I haven't been using it as much lately just because I've been grinding containment, so I bring divinity because it just means it's that much easier for your blueberries to shoot the boss. But it's a very good gun. So yeah, that is it for new new weapons this season. Overall, very happy with all the new stuff we got. Like having more options to craft. Even if some of them continue to evade me. The world drops are all really solid too. Enyo-Deez especially, I think, is my favorite. But yeah, so let me know in the comments if there's something I missed. If there's a gun you think I should take a second look at, because I know it's kind of harsh on some of these weapons. And I will see you guys next season.